So is Bitcoin in absolute danger? We're going to check out in just a second the bearish situation because Bitcoin right now is hovering around 110,000 US dollars. So is it in danger or not? We'll stick to the very end. We'll talk about that. Also the Bitcoin dominance and the altcoins as well. So how are you doing today, Edo?
I'm feeling great to be part of this podcast once again to discuss together the TA of Bitcoins.
Excellent. So let's just jump straight into the charts already. I don't know if you've been keeping up to date with what's been happening with Bitcoin over the past few days.
I mean, the past few days and few weeks have been interesting regarding what is happening because as we already brought it during one of our previous videos, we are right now maybe the last phase of this bull cycle. So it's quite interesting to see what is happening and because maybe this month of September is also maybe an interesting month for people who are looking maybe to get interested in crypto, because maybe you might offer them they hope to buy lower and maybe to expect maybe a price to get higher during the next month to come. So clearly, I guess we are at a very interesting phase of the cycle.
Yeah, very good. So in my opinion, we are basically in the final leg of this bull phase before we go back into a bear market. And I think the next bear market is going to be an absolute killer in terms of people losing their money. Usually 95% of people lose their money anyway in crypto. But the next 2026, 2027, I think there'll be a huge financial crisis, and Bitcoin, of course, the rest of the altcoins will go down, ready for that next cycle. So this is the last opportunity, in my opinion. Everything we say is not financial advice, of course, so this is just my opinion, and it's for educational purposes only. So don't trade, don't buy anything based on what we say. So right now, if we just go over into the charts and let's have a look at the current Bitcoin price. So right now, Bitcoin is hovering around that 110,000 US dollars. The bad news is if we keep hovering around here over the next few days or few weeks, it might be a bad point because it might indicate that we're struggling to break higher. And then in that case, we could roll over and go down to lower price points.
But I feel like it just goes according to what we talked about a few weeks earlier, when we say that maybe this month of September is generally a bad month for Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin should go lower, you just feel like the pattern is just repeating itself.
Yeah, so there's the possibility. We'll look at the bullish scenario in just a second. And I mean, don't panic when we see August was a -6%. September, generally speaking, is usually a bad month as well, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad month. Maybe because August was bad, September might be good. But I do expect if September plays out like the other Septembers, then it's an opportunity to, especially buy the altcoins, ready for the October, November, December, because then the altcoins will have their altcoin season, and that's where the real money is made. So anyway, just looking at Bitcoin, before we look at the bullish scenario, the bearish scenario is that we basically, if we go down to the daily time frame, let me just show you here. The situation is that we could come down and retest. If we break the 107, 108,000, we come back down and retest these levels around here. So the 100, 102,000, which is only, I mean, it's plausible. It could happen. We could come down 10% this month. If history repeats, if September repeats like what's happened in the past, then yeah, we could come back down and retest those levels going ready for October. I don't think we'll break that. I think we would retest it for this month, and then October would be that final leg up to the upside for Bitcoin to go to its 140, 150,000, and then the altcoins obviously are going to follow. We'll talk about the altcoins in another episode because we know Ethereum will lead the way, but yeah. I don't know what you think about that.
Also, clearly, what I can see on this chart is that I feel like all the scenario we spoke about earlier, this is clearly what is happening, because we see that there is a big line of resistance around the 110 figure mark, and then we see that this line clearly will be key regarding where Bitcoin's goes next. So if we go lower than that, then as you just mentioned, then we might have to retest the resistance line around the 100,000 US dollar. But I think that, yeah, it should be unlikely for Bitcoin to go as low as 100,000 right now. But I think that Bitcoin will just go sideways around the 110, and allowing maybe altcoins also to be able to pump higher.
Yeah. So, I mean, if in doubt, again, like we say, zoom out. So if we go back to the weekly, just to show you the bullish scenario now, if we go back all the way to our the beginning of this bull trend a few years ago, we bottomed out here at 15,000. We had another leg up to 26,000. We've had another leg up after that to 53. Again, 77, another one here at 98. So could this be, as we see, we keep printing higher lows, which is good. And we've got this banana phase now coming up, which usually happens with the final leg of the bull market. And could we from here just pump up to 150K? So it's looking very strong. I mean, when we have these pullbacks, most people panic, most people sell. And it's those that are patient that will reap the gains, the rewards of their gains, if they just stay patient. So for me, we've come a long way, and I do believe that this is just we're printing another higher low. Okay, we want to be objective. If we break below 100,000, so that's why this higher low here, if we do break below this, then yes, we could be in a reversal, but I don't think that will happen until next year. I still think we will have another leg up to the upside.
So in the bullish scenario, so we can go up to 150.
I'm expecting, yeah, anywhere between well, we have, I think last time we spoke about this inverse head and shoulders pattern, and the price target of this. So we've got the shoulder here. We'll just change this to green. We've got the shoulder here. We've got the right shoulder, the left shoulder. We've got the head. And the price point here of the breakout is all the way up here at 139, 140,000. Of course, when we look at the Fibonacci sequence as well, it points to 190,000. So I'm not saying Bitcoin's going to go to 200K, but if this plays out, then the price point would be somewhere between 140 to 150,000, and I think we'll top out at 150. But I'm not going to wait for 150. We shouldn't put a price point where we have to wait, where we have to sell. As it's going up, we should be laddering out and taking our initial investment, our profits off the table. That's what I will be doing anyway.
I mean, that's interesting. So this is in the bullish scenario, but in the bearish scenario, it could go as lower as 100.
Well, the short term will be 100. Long term, if we break that $100,000 mark, then we could come all the way back down to these levels here at 90 to 78 to 90, around these levels here, which would be catastrophic for the market. But it would make Bitcoin cheaper, and it would be good to buy back in, ready for the next market. It depends on your time frame.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, for these lower markers, it won't happen between now and next year, basically.
I expect us to go back down to those levels. If we get do you know what? Let's look at the Fibonacci retracement. I know I have comments, some of my community like talking about the fibs. So let's have a look at this retracement level. This would take us basically to the golden pocket down here at 0. Like exactly like we just said. So I think the 0.618, the 0.5, the 0.382, it likes to hit these levels. So you notice the 0.618 is the bottom here. I think we could potentially see a $50,000 Bitcoin in the next bear market. I think that's as low as we would go. But best case scenario, we would go down to 70 or 0.38283. It will be anywhere between these levels, in my opinion, where we could end up going to. I reckon, again, my opinion only, we would go back down to these levels here. So between 56 to 72,000.
Well, I hope that for people watching this video, they could be able to save this video and then maybe come back to it in 1 year or 2 years. Bitcoin maybe will reach those markers. But it will be really interesting to see how Bitcoin evolves from now till next year. But I mean, all these are possibilities that could happen. They could either happen. They could either go bearish or bullish. Both scenarios are completely possible. Obviously, what we are seeing here is not financially advised, but we just love to talk about the possibility of Bitcoin, the possibility of the market to evolve in one way or the other. And also we take into consideration what has happened also over the previous cycles, because as we always say, history repeats itself.
Exactly. So maybe we could go down to the lower time frames now. Let's just jump over back into the charts to show you what could happen, because we've got this falling wedge pattern, which I've spoken about on my channel. So let me just draw this up, because we were talking about this. Well, I don't know if I spoke to you about it, but on my channel, we were talking about this pattern here.
I saw it in one of your videos, and it seems that it hits exactly as you predicted.
Yeah, so on my channel, I spoke about this falling wedge pattern. So the price target would be the top of the wedge, so all the way up here, 124,000. If we break out, we're broken out. So on my channel, I mentioned earlier this week that if we break out, so when I did the video, in fact, this green candle started to break out. You can go and check out that. I think it was on the Monday. What day is this? Yeah, the Monday the 1st. So there we go, going into there. So that was clearly happening. And what I mentioned, that what we would like to see, which would be a bullish signal, is if we have a retest either of on top of this support line. Now it was clear resistance, we broke through the resistance, so we would get a retest on this, or we would get a retest on the $110,000 level. So right now we are basically retesting this. If we get a bounce off the 110, then this should play out, and we should basically come up to, if we measure this from the breakout, it would give us a price point of 122,000 for this. Usually, yeah, it usually goes to the top of the wedge when it breaks out. If we just go to the even lower time frames, so I like the 4-hour time frame just to see this. So yeah, we can clearly see we broke through it, like I mentioned. Are we going to get now a bounce off the $101,000? So I mean, you can clearly see this as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. So what will happen from now till next week in the short term?
So in the short term, if we do get this bounce, so if we do come down and get this bounce off here, or we're bouncing right now, who knows, then we should, by the end of Friday, start pumping up towards, I think we could see anywhere between 114 to 117,000 by the end of this week. And then going into next week, we start going back towards our all-time high of 124,000. Bearing in mind, I did forget one thing, which I haven't drawn it up on here. We do have, if I'm not mistaken, we have, let me just get the, where is it, the rectangle. This was the Sunday. We do have this CME gap here, and usually they tend to get filled because we dumped over the weekend, and it might be, yeah, we have the CME gap here, and 90% of the time they get filled up. So there's a lot of factors pointing towards a bullish
Scenario.
Yeah. We've got the inverse head and shoulders. We've got this falling wedge. We've got the CME gap. We've broken out. We're going to have the retest. So there's several things pointing to this. So if you want to trade this, then wait for the bounce off the 110,000. And then what we can do is, if we go to, should we do the lower time frame? Might be easier. And we can put a nice trade in, a nice long on the 100 and so we get in, we enter at this price 110, and the risk to reward ratio, we don't want to lose more than 1% of our trade. And then this, if we do head up to this price target, that's a 11 to 1 risk to reward ratio. So if you put, for example, 10x on this, you make 10%, you make 100% in this trade. So there's a lot of factors pointing towards that we're going to bounce off it. So if it does go below and we come back down into this channel, then you lose 1% of your trade. Not a big deal, but the reward is greater. You're going to make a nice 10, 11% trade.
I mean, these are interesting predictions. Let's see what happens in the next few weeks. I really enjoy looking at those charts again for Bitcoin. We're just one day off from the weekend, and I think that maybe Friday also will be key to see which direction the market.
Staying tomorrow, yeah, for sure.
Will be key to see in which direction the market will go, because then after in the week, generally in the weekend, we just follow what happens on Friday. One day, the bank institutions, all of them, they will be closed. And then if Bitcoin do pump during this weekend, then we can expect next week everything to be in motion for a bullish scenario.
Yeah, very good. So thanks guys and girls for sticking right to the end. Make sure, we didn't mention this, but make sure to subscribe to our channels as well so that you can be kept up to date with each and every video. Of course, with our podcasts as well, when we come together each and every Thursday at this moment in time. So make sure to smash a like. Even a thumbs down is not too bad for us as well, because it's good for the algorithm. Leave any comments in the section below what you think to this technical analysis, and we'll see you next time with more videos. Bye-bye.